How are we all doing tonight? Why, that's great. Tonight, I'm going to tell you what my wife calls the pink suit story. It involves an old suit of mine that was not actually pink, but my wife called it the pink suit because it had the ever so tiniest amount of pink pinstriping in the design. The actual color of the suit was charcoal, but for the purposes of the story and to make my wife happy, we shall call it the pink suit, even though it wasn't actually pink. Okay. This was 1999. An organization called the Society for the Preservation of Film Music was giving a special dinner and Lifetime Achievement Award to film composer Lawrence Rosenthal, who scored many important films in the 60s, such as Raising the Sun and The Miracle Worker, and also the 1981 version of Clash of the Titans. The thing you need to understand about me is I'm a huge film music nerd. So much so that I work for a record label that releases nothing but film scores. Are there any film score fans here tonight? There's a joke later on that only you're going to get. It was because of my day job that I was given the opportunity to edit the video for the Lawrence Rosenthal tribute. So it was a big night for me. We're at the Roosevelt Hotel in Hollywood, in this historic room where the very first Academy Awards happened. And I spend some time with the tech people doing a sound check for the video. It looks great, it sounds great, so now I have about 15 minutes to head back up to the room and get ready. So I've got my suit, the pink suit that's not really pink. The thing is, before I left the house, I just threw the thing into a garment bag. What I didn't do was try it on to see if it still fit. Some of you see where this is going. So yeah, tried it on to see if it still fit. Should have done that, as it turns out. I mean, come on. Last time I wore the thing, it was only a little tight. About 1.5 years ago. So, you know, what could go wrong? I now have about 10 minutes. My roommate for this trip is my co-worker, Mark. Now, I don't know Mark all that well, except he's a Mormon dude who loves Italian horror movies. But Mark immediately assesses the situation and, like some kind of strange combination between MacGyver and Ninja, drops to his knees, puts his hands on my pants, and I don't know how he got it, but he got it. So now, I'm walking around this thing like after my first junior high school slow dance. Meeting and greeting people. And did I mention there's a dinner? So at this point, I'm just hoping the little metal clasp doesn't snap off and take out a bunch of film composers who I happen to be big fans of. Sorry, Mr. Morricone, Mr. Newman, Mr. Newman, Mr. Newman. Miraculously, everything holds together. The video goes over really well. In fact, right after the video, Lawrence Rosenthal gets a standing ovation. It was awesome. Either that, or I passed out on my Salisbury steak and dreamt it all. I don't know. So that's the pink suit story. Thank you. I'll leave you with one final thought before I go. Sometimes my friends and I like to quote lines from movies as they apply to real-life situations. For example, if we find ourselves in a crowded rowboat in the middle of the ocean, a situation where clearly a larger boat is required, one of us will invariably say, "Looks like we're facing the Kobayashi Maru." All right, that's my time. Thank you.